Okay, guys, it's been a few days since we've made a video. I've got a bunch of clips made, did some recording. Let's just a little intro to it, kind of tell you what's up. Uh, going to show you the car running. We did get the car cranked. Runs good. Not perfect. I hadn't timed the car yet. We'll go over that later in the video. We've got a fuel leak. We're going to have to address that. We'll show you what we got, what we're working with there. The Amazon fittings worked about like the person installing them, substandard. Anyway, we've got a plan for that. It's the inlet to the pump. Got a new filter. Going to use some push lock hose, not push lock. We're going to use Amazon. We didn't learn no lesson. We'll show you that. Took a little trip. Me and the wife. She's a school teacher, so she's out of school. Took us a little trip. Went up into northern Arkansas. Found a swap meet on a Wednesday. Actually, it's today and tomorrow and Sunday. Today is Friday. But Wednesday, when we was up there sightseeing, going mountain hopping, looking around at the highest peaks in Arkansas, we found a park ranger told me about a swap meet. So we had to hit that, of course. Got a little bit of video of that. We're going to throw that in this video for you guys. Get to see what's going on there. If you live in that area, you're lucky. Swap meets in Texas are in parking lots with no shade, and it's hot. So the one I went to, very nice. You'll see the scenery, where everything was at there. Tell you a little bit about what's up there. Show you a couple of cars, some of the parts I looked at. I brought home some tools. You know, they got the little. Every swap meet I've been to has a guy out there selling the Chinese-made tools and gadgets. Bought me a hood prop. Don't have to use a broom handle no more. I do have a hood prop on this car, but a couple of other ones I don't. But I found a really neat gadget for that. Bought a couple other things over there while I was looking around. Transmission plug where you pull drive shaft out. Got the little red plug. Bought me a couple of those. A couple other things I picked up while I was there. I'm going to show you that. Also, going to show you the car cranking up. Now, it's not the first. It is a first start for the car with the motor in it. But that motor has ran on my test stand before. Previous video, you've seen the motor sitting there running. Now it's in this car. I had pulled the distributor out, robbed it, used it in a 347 stroker motor I have. Kind of bohemian marked it, put it back in there. I hadn't put a timing light on it, but the motor does fire up. It does run. Sounds pretty good. Not going to be 400 horsepower, run 6 flat. Not going to run 7 flat. Not with this driver. If I can get this thing to run 750s on a good track with, in my area, I have to run either a diaper or drag radial. So this thing's probably going to be on some good drag radials. I've got a couple sets of those. Right now, it's just on some regular old Falcon street tires. That's what I'm going to drive around town on. But got some more work to do to it. Still got to bleed the brakes. Got to put the e-brake cables on. They did come in. I bought them from late model. I'll show you those in a later clip. Got to get that done. But very soon you're going to see this thing under its own power driving. We're not far off. So, but today you'll see the car running. Get to hear it. You know, hear the thing idling. It's not perfect, but it runs. And it's substandard, and it's mine. Like I say on the Facebook page, you build what you want. That's what it's all about. This car here I found in a field, saved it. It's got a motor and trans. We're going to be driving it. My plan is to drag this thing to Atmore Dragway in February and run with all those substandard guys that are running down there, Rodney, Pirate, Scientist, Kevin, Eric. My plan is to drag this car all the way to Florida and make some passes with those guys. Have a good time. That's what it's all about. That's why we keep these cars around. That's why I like them. You know, I'm surrounded by, I got 3 in here. I got 3 or 4 more outside the shop. I just love the little cars. It's my happy place working on them. Jerry Hamilton. I'm over here in North Arkansas and found myself a swap meet on a Wednesday, bud. Check this out. That's a 57 frame, or he's selling some 57 window fill. Square bodies. I'm over here at, what's the name of this place? Pettit Jean State Park. Museum of Automobiles. Look that up online. Hey, you need to come over here, man. There's all kind of cars and parts and 57s and old trucks. All kind of mess. Put that on your calendar. Look that up. Okay, guys. We hadn't went that far. We went about, I don't know. We're probably half a mile from the truck. We just topped this little hill here. This booger is huge. They got porta cans set up down there about half a mile from where I'm at. Motorcycle frames, bicycle stuff. They got stuff everywhere. Okay, guys. We're still walking around. We've been out here about 2 hours. There's all kind of stuff. Check this thing out. 40 Plymouth Business Coupe. Sitting on some cool little auto drags. Neat looking old rig. There it is, $2,850, 8 3/4 in it. Has title, everything. There's his name and number. That's what you're getting. 8 3/4. Looks like stock axles, but she's cool. Picture of the other side. Hey, you looking for a nostalgia drag car? Right there's your, that right there is your ticket. All right, guys, here we are. We didn't make the holiday weekend, but you know, things happen. I've got a junk, totally substandard coil wire on there. I'm going tomorrow to pick up a new one, but I want to give you guys a little look at where we're at right now with the car. I've got a temporary oil pressure gauge in there. I've got a temporary temp gauge on there. You can see it's cold, motor's cold. Gonna fire this thing up or make a stab at it. And this motor has ran on the test stand. I have jerked the distributor out, stabbed it back in best I could. I don't have a timing light hooked up on it yet, but I do want to give you guys a little look at see what we got going here. Let me move a couple tools off this thing where we don't end up with them, you know, bouncing around off inside there somewhere. Y'all stand by. Let me get the main power turned on and we'll kick another video off. Y'all stand by for the next clip. All right, guys, this thing is a total pile, but I've got crap scattered everywhere. Main power switch, I hid it in the fuel door since it's got a fuel cell in it. Totally substandard. We got a small drip we're gonna have to fix. Had to order another fitting. It'll be here tomorrow, so we'll go from there. But I've got the fuel pump turned on. I've got the water pump turned on. I've got the ignition turned on. So we'll see what happens here. I got a temporary starter switch up there where I can crank it, see everything, all the vital signs from underneath the hood. Since the interior still looks like that. So here we go. Y'all stand by. Let's see what we got here. Well, fuel pump runs. We got 11.3 volts. We'll have to charge battery. It might crank, it might not. Let's see what we got here. All right, fellas, here we go. She's running. It don't sound great, but no telling where the time is at. It's still cold, so right, guys, she's a runner. Y'all stand by. All right, guys, there is our China pump. These little fittings are really slick because they do rotate. Problem is, you rotate them one time, they leak. This one leaked, so I'm gonna have to take that off because this little O-ring in here that lets you rotate it, swivel, what they call it, it leaked. So I'm gonna put a straight fitting in there. I've got some, I believe it's 1/2-inch fuel hose. I'm gonna put that on there. I've got a different filter that's got barbed ends on it for 1/2-inch hose. I'll put that on there. I got a new fitting for over here. I'm gonna fix that. Once we get that fixed, everything else seems to be good on fuel system. Y'all stand by. Okay, guys, here's another little total substandard thing that I learned from a dirt track guy years ago. And a guy on Facebook the other day was having issues. Might have been on the substandard page, I can't remember. Anyway, said he couldn't get his starter to engage. Couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, if you look right here, that's a self-tapper, Rodney. This is a ground strap that I got off Amazon or maybe at Napa, had the boys make for me. That is tied to right here, if you look, that's the starter bolt. I've got it tie wrapped where it ain't hanging down all ugly. But, old man that used to dirt track years ago, dirt track race, told me, every dirt track car has a ground strap on the starter. I was having some issues on a big block Chevrolet years ago with the starter not wanting to turn over, you know, being lazy, yada yada. He told me, ground starter bolt. I thought, man, everything on that thing is metal. It's grounded. So, one day when I'm stranded at the local Sonic, when I was about 21 years old, I thought, when I get home, I'm going to hang me a ground on there and just try it. Well, guess what? I hung a ground on that big block, and that rascal rolled right over, fired right up. So, from then on, when I build something that's got any power, some of the stock stuff even, I'll put a ground strap on the bolt, on the starter bolt. Never have any issues. That is you look up in there, that right there is an eBay starter. I think it was like 38 bucks remanufactured on eBay. But, hey, it spins this thing over, fires it right up. You see the exhaust hanging down there, that's totally my way of doing things. Short and to the point. I don't care if it's loud. I live in a rural Texas. We don't have no issues with that. We don't have no riots either. Riots take care of themselves around here. Anyway, out of the politic thing, Daryl. Here we are. Y'all stand by a little bit, and we'll get to the next clip. Okay, guys, we did a little repair here. As you can see, we used some rubber hose, some good old hose clamps. Got us a filter in there. Back on the China pump. No leaks yet. We'll see how that goes. But she's repaired, so hopefully we're through with the fuel system for a while. Y'all stand by for the next clip. All right, guys, here we are. We got a running car. She's not pretty, but she's mine. Totally substandard. They did fire up. I expected it to fire because it has ran on test bench. So it's not like it was a stone cold first time fire up. Don't think that, because that's not the case. It is a runner. The more it runs, the better it gets. It's got a little Lunati cam. You can look down in the description of the video. You'll see all the specs on the motor. Once we get Blake's bread, all that kind of stuff, got to throw a couple seats in it where my wife can push the pedals, all that kind of stuff, where she can help me bleed the brakes. But we'll get on that. We'll get you another video out. Like I said, this thing is coming along. It's a total pile. I love it. Don't have to worry about nobody opening a door on it. Let me turn this thing around. Look at this thing. Man, this is great. It does have four-wheel disc brakes. We're going to keep that. There's the old motor. That is an old Holly 750. I wanted to crank it on that thing. Then I'm going to put the new carburetor I got in a box over here. It's not brand new. It is rebuilt. It's a 750 Demon.
Going to get it put on there. Nothing wrong with this carburetor other than it needs an overhaul. It leaks like a sieve. So we're going to get it off, put a kit in it, save it for the next build. The Demon's going to go on this one. We're going to replace that coil wire because it is a danger to me when I'm out here fooling with it. And I've had it probably 20 years. So we're going to put MSD on there. MSD makes a little gadget that goes down in there and totally makes it to where it's a HEI style snap-on plug, that kind of stuff, yada, yada. But as you can see in the previous video, my little Amazon gauge there isn't accurate. I've got a gauge up on the firewall. It's running China pump on it, you know, and it is sitting there running perfectly steady. Everything looks good. The substandard guy that put the fuel lines together must have botched that because I got a leak back there. But anyway, next thing is to get the brakes filled up, bled out, and we're going to make this thing move under its own power. I don't know when the last time. I got it out of a pasture. But in Texas, the last time it was inspected on the highway was January of 2017. So think back to what you were doing in 2017. I was working at a power plant 10 miles from my house. Legacy guy. My dad retired out there. My son is an employee of the company at another site. 2018, they shut down, laid us all off. That's another story. 2017, long time ago. This old car, the running gear out from under it was robbed for a drift car. So he took all the V6 crap, put it up under this thing, and as far as the spindles and that kind of stuff, the rear end was a little 7.5 inch, the whatever put in the V6 Mustang late model, like a 97, 98 model. But anyway, so we're going to get this thing put together, get the brakes bled, check all the fluids, set the timing, that kind of stuff I have not done. And we're going to make her go down the road on her own power. If you notice the Pro 15 on the windshield, as well as on the side, my wife made those with some kind of little device. She's a teacher, so she's got all these little knickknacks. She made those for me. Those are actually the numbers off of my buddy that passed away, Mark Harwell. That was the numbers on his Kentucky Fried Chicken Pro 50 car back in the day. So honoring Mark Harwell, there we go. Pro 15 is going to be on the highway in Central Texas again. Mark, I miss you. All you folks, have a good day. And watch for us on the next video.